Okay, I just got attacked by a giant fucking bug that I have no idea what it was. That was wild. Never seen one like that before. And when I looked at it on my arm, it like ran at my face. I'm like, no thank you. Absolutely not. Let's not play that game. We're gonna be a complete girl and shriek and flick it that direction. I say as I'm being eaten alive by mosquitoes. So, anyway, hello my little gremlins. Welcome back to the platforms. It's been a hot minute since you've seen me. It's been something of an adjustment. Learning to live, work, and exist in basically 3 timelines. So with Alan's position, that has us getting up before the sun ever crosses the horizon into Indiana. Probably before it ever crosses the horizon on the East Coast. And then now that we're back to school, that's got us getting, because normally I go back to sleep between when Alan leaves and when we would normally get up to start our day. Unless I have readings booked, and then I get up and do those. But now that Penny's back to school, that's got us getting up by 6:30, depending, to get her ready and out the door to be at school at a normal time. And then my work day starts at like 9 or 10 Indiana time. I work on Central Time because my employer is in Missouri. So it's been a little bit chaotic and trying to kind of find a balance between all of that, domestic duties, canning, and the tarot practice has been something of a trial, but we're getting there. So something that if you've not had a reading from me in recent history, you're going to see in my readings going forward is I am not relying as heavily on my books and my notes and things any longer. My intuition has become much more honed in the last few months with the way I'm reading. So I've become much more confident in the things that I'm seeing in the cards, and much more confident in saying that I'm seeing things in the cards rather than explaining it. Because the way I explain it is, tarot for me is like reading a book. I have an inner monologue, I see pictures, and I hear stories. That's the way tarot works for me. But now I can confidently say that when I say I'm seeing something in the cards, I'm actually seeing it. I've been really surprised at my ability to hone in and pinpoint things lately. I'm much more confident when I say that when I see a situation, that this is the situation that's happening, rather than it could be this or it could be this. Now it's like the way I'm reading the cards is, this is exactly what's happening. So if you haven't had a reading from me in recent history, shoot me a message. It's time for another one, because I promise you it will be much more different now than it was even 5 months ago. So let's dive in. We are using our Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck, which is your standard tarot deck. And let's see what Spirit has for us this evening. And yes, it's 10 o'clock at night. I'm sitting on my deck getting eaten by mosquitoes. Getting ready to go in and tell Penny, hey, it's time for bed. Etc. So let's see what it is that Spirit has for us this evening. Spirits, guides, ancestors, what message do you have for the collective this evening? Okay. Okay, so we are walking away from a time of feeling constricted and restricted with the Eight of Swords. feeling bound and held in place, not being able to see paths forward for whatever reason. I feel like that can probably be said for much of the world as a whole right now. The world feels different. It feels weird. We all feel like we're caged in and claustrophobic. But for some of us, probably a good portion of us that are, you know, able to see through the veil and see through the things that are happening around us, those times we're shifting. We're in a point of shift. But there is a warning to it as well. So I see with the Nine of Cups upright, the Nine of Cups speaks to having everything you need and your cups being full. But you're also kind of guarded and protected over those things. You see the way he's sitting with his arms crossed. That's talking about keeping your resources close. And not, you know, just because you have it doesn't mean you should, you know, let it go freely. Hold on to it, keep it close, keep it safe. Whatever that resource may be, whether that be funds, food, shelter, what have you, keep those resources close and safe. Just because you have them and your cups are full doesn't mean that you should just willy-nilly give it out. Now, I'm not saying be a cold, heartless bitch. If someone needs and you can help, then help. But be aware to not give to a fault. Okay? We have the Hierophant upright, which speaks to tradition. And when I say tradition, that can be either like structures within your own life, structures within your practice, or faith. The Hierophant is a traditional figure. He is a religious figure. He is a trusted figure. Now, with all that said, when what I'm seeing here is because we're moving out of this time of restriction and being held back, we're going to be seen as that person that has it all together, right? And that's going to not only bleed our resources, but we speak of our emotional and mental health as a cup that needs filling. Bear in mind that we, especially in the world in which we live, we cannot fill from an empty cup. The vast majority of people right now are running on empty. When things start falling into place for us, we are going to be seen as that person that has it all together. So not only do you have people that are going to be coming to you seeking your physical resources, you're going to have people coming to you seeking your mental and emotional resources as well. Okay? Don't be a hard ass, don't be an asshole, but also bear in mind to protect yourself as well. I see like psychic vampires, people that come to you seeking answers, and you give them the answers. They don't necessarily like the answers. They will take your information and kind of twist it to make themselves feel better, but it's bleeding you dry in the process. Okay? Then we have the Knight of Pentacles. Pentacles is always abundance. But in this case, I also see it like with that whole being seen as the person that has their shit together, because we're coming out of this time of being restricted and being held back or what have you. and coming into being seen as this person that has their shit together. I see this Knight of Pentacles also as that precious thing that we're holding is our mental health, our emotional health, not just our abundance and our wealth, right? It's the substance that is in the cup when we say that we can't fill from an empty cup. Okay? This is a cautionary tale, though. Like the Knight of Pentacles, he's holding it and he's protecting it and he's taking care of it, right? This is telling us take care of that. Take care of our resources, our physical resources, our emotional and mental resources. Take care of them. Don't give of them hastily with the King of Swords or Knight of Swords in reverse. When we give of those things hastily, it's folly every time. The Knight of Swords in reverse, it's swift action, but like in this case in reverse, not only is it swift action, it's a downfall. Okay? It will take way more than we will ever get in return from it. Okay? So do not allow. Thank you for that. That was very, like those shot across. This is a 6-foot table. It shot that way. Yeah, 6-foot table. It shot that way. So we have the Hermit in reverse and the Queen of Pentacles. So it's telling us not to be an asshole. Don't isolate ourselves, but be very, very, very careful with how we spread ourselves, how we spread our resources, etc. We have to, with the Queen of Pentacles, take care of ourselves, take care of our resources, take care of our mental and emotional resources, nurture them, protect our physical resources. Don't be an asshole, but by the same token, don't get taken advantage of and allow the folly to happen. Okay? Because when people notice it, it's going to be like that. You're going to become a beacon, and people are going to be like, oh, they've got their shit together. Let's go and siphon that energy or those resources or whatever. And it's okay to help, but not to a fault. Okay? What else do we have? What else? That was me. It's a little humid out here, so cards are kind of doing weird things. There's like 3 or 4 cards that flipped over in my hand right there. Okay, so we have the Empress in reverse, the Ace of Cups upright, the Hanged Man upright, and the Four of Pentacles in reverse. So, again, what this is saying, the tides are turning for us with the Ace of Cups. This shows our cup overflowing. And aces are always like winds of change or waters of change or sudden change. When they're upright, it's good things. Okay? The Ace of Cups upright is a change to a time when our cup is going to be overflowing. Again, it is a cautionary tale, though. So, like, sorry, my face is itching. It's a cautionary tale, though, because, again, we have the Empress in reverse. The Empress in reverse is you realize your power, but you're held back. Okay? The Empress, much like all the queens, it's very divine feminine, fertile energy. You've got the wheat here, which wheat is a sign of abundance, etc. And then we have the planchette also, which I just noticed. So it's learning to trust your intuition with regard to something or someone seeking something from you. Okay? Learn to trust that inner voice. If it feels icky, it's probably icky. All right? If it feels like this is someone just siphoning, then they probably are. But again, it's telling you, don't be miserly. Don't be an asshole. Don't, with the Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles, like when he's upright, he is like, everything is tight to his chest, right? He doesn't want to share anything. When he's in reverse, though, it's telling you, give of yourself and of your resources what you can. But don't allow your intuition to be clouded by stories. Okay? Because sometimes the people that cross our paths, while we want to help them, we can't. They can only help themselves with the Hangman. Okay? And the Hangman goes two ways. Like, they're stuck, right? They can't undo the situation they've gotten themselves into. But don't allow yourself to be pulled into it as well. Okay? So be mindful of the people around you and the company you're keeping and the people that are coming to you and asking you to fill their cup from yours. Give if you can. Okay? Give if you can. Right? See? Give if you can. But don't get sucked into the downfall. The people that you can't help. Okay? It happens. It's part of life. It fucking sucks when we can't help everybody. Where did that card go? Oh, it landed in my lap. It sucks when we can't help everybody. But we also can't allow ourselves to be drawn into it to a fault. Okay? You have to understand when you're being taken advantage of. You cannot fill from an empty cup, and our cup will only be overflowing for so long. Okay? Do not allow yourself to, with the King of Pentacles, when he's in reverse, he makes rash, sudden decisions. Do not make decisions regarding any of your resources, be they physical, literal resources, or emotional and mental resources, lightly. Okay? Because when you take them lightly, you start to ignore your intuition. When we are hearing of other people's issues, especially if we're highly intuitive, highly empathic people, that plays on us. And we think, oh, I've got a little bit extra. I've got a little bit more in the tank. I can give to someone else. Don't allow that to cloud you. Because again, some people you can't help. They have to help themselves. Some people make very fast, incorrect decisions that don't move their life forward. Okay? Anything else? Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So this is a warning that if we ignore our intuition and just allow people to play on our sympathies, that we're going to be right back where we started. So we have to protect that. Not everybody is your teammate with the Three of Pentacles in reverse. Three of Pentacles upright is a partnership. Not everybody is your teammate. You can't save everyone. Okay? As much as you would like to. And probably I'm going to lean into this a little further and say, likely if someone is coming to you and they are really, really leaning on you heavy to help, my suggestion would be to recommend them to seek out state level help or professional mental health help. That's not your place. Not everybody is going to reciprocate what you give them. So you have to protect yourself and what you have, be that literal, physical resources or emotional and mental resources. You have to protect that. Because you can't help everyone, and not everyone is your partner. Not everyone is going to reciprocate what you give them. Ten of Pentacles upright. This is a card of harmony, of taking care of your family and building a legacy for your family. You have to protect that legacy. If you don't protect it, others will bleed it dry. And it is a heavy burden to carry, but their burden is not yours with the Ten of Wands in reverse. It's not your burden to carry, okay? They're going to make you feel bad about it too, because that's what those type of people do. They play on your emotions to try and get you to ignore your intuition about their situation. It's not your burden to carry, okay? The best thing that you can do for them is refer them to state level help, mental health facilities. If it's a drug situation, medical help, sobriety help, etc. These are things that you can do for them, but it is not your burden to carry, and you should not feel guilty about telling them no. Because your happily ever after is not everybody else's happily ever after, and they are not entitled to it. With the Four of Wands in reverse. Okay? Your happily ever after is not something that everyone else is entitled to. With the King of Swords. Again, kings are almost always, when they're upright, they're very methodical, very set in their ways. The King of Swords, this is going to be your card of, again, a turning point in your life. You see the butterflies. Butterflies are always a turning point, a rebirth. This is you learning to step into your own. And then the Page of Swords also came out. This is a card of learning. Pages are always learning. And depending on the suit, can be childlike in their learning and whatnot. This is you learning to step into your power, protect yourself, your resources, your heart, your intuition, learning to integrate into society and not be a hermit, but not get walked all over either, because not everybody is there for you. You cannot save everyone. Okay? Don't be miserly. Okay? Don't like hoard, but be very, very careful who and how you help. Because again, once your cup is empty, you cannot fill from it. Alright, that's what I have for you guys this evening. If you would like to book a reading, hit me in the DMs. And I will try to post another collective tomorrow. Have a great one.